Apprentices, acolytes, coming into the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many of the Force-sensitive like yourself. I'm Lord Dagovere fam, and I'm sick, and it's so good to see you. Let's go. I do this wrong every time. Let's go. Yo, Logan, Skywalker Academy, Jedi Connor, can I get ready up inside the chat, fam? Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, boys, apprentices, acolytes. I have been sick for the past, 2 weeks. That's why I didn't stream last week. I have not been feeling good, man. I don't know what I got, but it started out with chills, and then it started out with a cough, and then last Sunday was, the worst cough I've ever had. And I'm not even joking, guys. I thought it was Project Blackwing. I thought I was dying. I'm not even lying, bro. I'm not even lying, man. I got my throat lozenge today. We're good. If you guys have read that novel, I'm sure Logan has. If you guys have read that novel, there's a part where Chewbacca is infected, and the virus is making him think about eating things, eating himself. It's very explicit, very crazy. It's by far one of the most unique Star Wars books I've ever listened to and read. So go check it out. And I know it's only June yet, but that spooky season is coming, baby. All right, something's going around. Yeah, something is going around. And I got Andor fever. I just thought of that right off my head. So, yeah. But I really do miss Andor. I miss a lot of Star Wars live action. I just miss a lot, man. I don't know if you guys have been playing any Battlefront or Star Wars Fortnite. This is the last couple days before it's gone. And I just feel sad. This might have been, the best Star Wars, I don't know, time for a very long time, man. And now that it's coming to an end because there's no Andor, there's, Star Wars Fortnite is ending, and it seems like the hype is slowly normalizing for the whole Battlefront 3 regime and excitement, so it's just kind of sad. But I'm here with you guys, and I'm very glad to see you guys. But we got Bugsy, Admiral Gooner in the chat, Leon, Skywalker Academy, David Torres, so good to see you, Logan, the legend, Jedi. Yo, we got so many legends inside here, Skywalker Academy, Jedi Connor, one of my boys I do the podcast with, Starlight Podcast, let's freaking go. Make sure you watch that, check it out. Bugsy coming up with his content, Leon doing his thing, even though we may not agree with each other. Logan has got one of the coolest channels. Definitely check him out. Skywalker Academy as well if you like edits. In Skywalker Academy, I wanted to show you some edits that I had done back in the day. So yeah, man, I'm really excited about today's stream. We got about an hour, so I'm here for questions. I'm here for anything that you've seen over the internet. What's going on? Theories, lies, deceptions. I'm here, baby. That's what it is. Let it go, man. Woo! You're not here. You're not. Oh my god, dude! I love that. I love it. I can't get Saul Guerrero's speech to Wilman out of my head, man. You know what, Luthen? You're here, and you're ready to fight. Let it run wild, dude. I cannot believe there's all right. I gotta let you guys know, okay? All right. I gotta let you guys know that I am a very big EU person, whether it's Legends or just Expanded Universe in general, okay? And when they change a character completely, like Saw Gerrera from Clone Wars and Saw Gerrera from Rogue One, Andor is a very different character. But the moment that guy walks on screen and he's like, lies! Deceptions! Every day, more lies! I'm just like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? But then, it's also so incredible. It's an epiphany when you see someone like Tony Gilroy that can change a character for the better. We know as Clone Wars when he's, she's my sister, Rhino, and I love her. When he said that, I got so emotional. I didn't cry, because I barely cry. But I was hurting when he said that. And then you just see the way he is. You have no idea where I am. You know? All you spies. And I'm just like, dude, I can listen to this guy all day. I couldn't do that in Clone Wars. You know? And it's not that he's a bad character in Clone Wars. He's great. But that's one of the things where I say, like, wow, man, you know, because I do not like The Last Jedi, you know, and I'm not here to hate, okay? I'm just saying, like, it's a very scary thing for me when I think about Last Jedi changes, right? But then when I see Andor, it's the same thing, because I also feel the same way. And I don't know when and if we're going to get another Andor. You know? It's crazy, too, because it does seem like Tony Gilroy is going to be directing. And that's cool. But I really hope he comes back and does some more. Why don't we just let him direct Star Wars as well? I'm not saying have control of everything now. But I am saying that perhaps we shouldn't let quality run away. You know? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Much younger, of course. 10 out of 10 impression. Thank you. I appreciate that. I like how Forrest Whitaker came back for Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, bro. It's stuff like that. Like, an actor is not supposed to give a shit about those things. And he does. Alright, okay. So, there was something where, I don't know if you guys are on Threads. I've been tweeting or posting on Threads like crazy. So, if you guys are on Threads, please get on there. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok, of course, outside of YouTube. But Threads, I'm trying to, you know, become one of the newer next-gen Star Wars content creators. So I want people to give a shit about what I say. And one of the stuff that I was talking about is Tony Gilroy not really acknowledging. Well, not really. It's he did not acknowledge the origin story for K2SO and Cassian uniting. And he just looked over that and made his own version of that. And it's one of those stuff where, like, Star Wars always has to have the continuity be consistent, right? But that is an angle where it shows you, even though Star Wars preaches about this consistent, one singular flowing continuity, that is not entirely true. It will always, live action will always be the dominant. And so, while the books and the comics and video games exist, and this is common knowledge for a lot of people, but it's hard to sell that the EU has as much value as it does when someone like Tony Gilroy can give you an upgrade. You know? There's a lot of stuff out there that I think probably shouldn't have happened in a book. Asajj Ventress' death. Darth Maul dying in animation. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying perhaps these things needed a little more appreciation, right? But it's not always going to happen, because you have something like bleeding in Star Wars when it comes to kyber crystals. And if that is not executed correctly, you're going to see criticism on it. Which I agree with. You know? So it's one of those things. But I just wanted to see how your guys' mentality was towards the expanded universe after something like that happened with Andor. I'm catching up with the comments right now. Saw Gerrera, give him a Saw Gerrera show. That'd be awesome. Not gonna lie, I don't get the view of some fans that they say we should all like all Star Wars no matter what, and you aren't a fan if you criticize. Shouldn't we quality instead of accepting anything that is? You know, Logan, absolutely. You're absolutely correct. My problem is when you consistently hate on Star Wars. Like, bro, I have so many problems with The Last Jedi. I have even more problems with The Rise of Skywalker. And although I think The Force Awakens is one of the best Star Wars movies, not the best, one of the best, I still think that movie has flaws. Same thing with The Acolyte. Same thing with Kenobi. Same thing with the Book of Boba Fett. But I still appreciate certain things of those, but that shouldn't stop, like, my criticism and my hate should not stop projects from being made. Because if someone is going to love Star Wars, right? Because I love Star Wars. I love every component of Star Wars, even some things, the things that I really, really dislike, and I'm openly, criticize. I think there's a problem with, like, all Star Wars fans when they criticize something. Because there are legitimate criticisms, right? Andor showed me you can make any Star Wars story you want. You might be able to make a comedy if the quality is good, if the directing is good, if the writing is good, if the execution is perfect. You can absolutely make a horror movie. Absolutely. You can make a drama. You can make a lot of things. But where Andor is really questioning the most when it comes to Star Wars and pointing at it and saying, this needs to be better, it's execution. Execution. Because that's the one thing that I'm realizing now is that Andor has set a very high bar going forward. Not every show needs to be Andor. But why isn't every show executed to the level of quality that Andor is? There is nothing wrong with saying that as a Star Wars fan. There is nothing wrong. I think it's only wrong when you weaponize that and you start attacking people like Dave Filoni or Jon Favreau, or Leslie Headland or Kathleen Kennedy. That's when it becomes wrong because it turns into harassment. It turns into hate. That is my view. That's my opinion. But I see a lot of people, especially recently, because Andor is so good, which I want to talk about actually with Jedi Connor on the podcast that we have the next time, is how so many people are using Andor to attack everything else in Star Wars. Even the original trilogy. Even Padme and Anakin's relationship. Obviously they have issues, but there's some wild things that I consistently see. But yeah, it's stuff like that where I feel like maybe we need to tone it down a little bit and look ourselves in the mirror and see how much damage we're actually doing to the franchise as fans. By the way, did you hear that they're finally making a Star Wars horror movie? So I don't know if it's a horror movie because Tony Gilroy said that it's happening. So I think he just means horror. And there's been a lot of horror, especially if you're an Expanded Universe fan, But I'm very excited to see what's going on because there's a lot of ideas they can get away with. Jedi Connor says, I can live with the action reigning supreme over mediums like books and comics as long as I feel like there was purpose to it. Yes! That's exactly it, bro. That's exactly it. Because, man, bro, look around us, man. Your boy is surrounded, by books and everything. And if you want me to consistently get behind something like the High Republic, something like the Acolyte has to be better. If you want me to consistently come out with, get excited about the brand new Vader comic, or this one-off about Jyn Erso with Rebel Rising, why isn't that at least acknowledged in Andor? This is supposed to have value. Even with how good someone like Tony Gilroy is, why isn't someone coming in and say, hey, they fly now cannot be a thing? It's stuff like that. And that is where Lucasfilm or whoever, I don't know. I just think it needs to be more cohesive and understanding. But then, then you have egos and politics. And I'm not talking about the shit that everybody's talking about on Twitter. I'm talking about politics of who has control, who has power. This person is a director. This person is a writer. This person is a lore specialist. Egos and who's following who. So that's also an unspoken thing that happens with a lot of these movies, and that's why choices are made that we don't like. Logan says there's a difference between genuine criticism and toxicity that often gets muddled. Yes, I agree. Skywalker Academy says there's valid criticism, but you shouldn't ignore the good within the bad. That's just my view. Yes. Yeah, same thing. And you shouldn't ignore the bad and the good. I can sit here and talk... I'll talk about something that I don't usually talk about. I can sit here and talk about how I still think Kenobi is by far the weakest project in all of Star Wars. Weaker than The Last Jedi to me. Weaker than The Acolyte. Weaker than The Rise of Skywalker. Weaker than the Book of Boba Fett. But that last episode, Reva's arc at the end, seeing Hayden, bringing back Hayden and Ewan McGregor, those are things that show did alone. That is amazing. That should be commended, you know? The execution in that project? No, there needs to be some questions. Definitely. You know, someone definitely needs to take fault, for sure. But I can't in good conscience say that that show is all bad. Because there are some things that I love. I am what you made me. I think about that all the time. You know? You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker. I did. Woo! Bars, baby. Bars. You know? Like, I mean, there's nothing I can critique about that. That's for sure. That's for sure. Skywalker Academy says, yeah, that's valid criticism. Yes. Logan says, EU Legends is completely different universe as it was literature first, while canon is visual first, different levels of story. And yeah, and Logan, even though, like, you and I are pretty big diehard EU fans, but I'll be the first to tell you that I highly doubt George Lucas would have loved something like the Yuuzhan Vong. You know, and I know that they were supposed to be in Clone Wars, but there's a reason why they're not. And then I know that, you know, Bane and Revan were supposed to be in Clone Wars, you know, manipulating the sun, but there's a reason why they're not. You know? So, expanded universe is one thing, but it's not like George Lucas is writing every single book and comic, you know? And I'm not saying that it's irrelevant. I am not saying that. Because there are people out there that say that the expanded universe did not matter, and that is such a lie, bro. That is such a damn lie. Anyone out there preaching that too is just as wrong as the people that are saying that the EU was George Lucas's exact vision of the story that he wanted. Because that's not true either, you know? But it's clear that all the good that the EU has, there is also some pretty freaking bad low in there too. Bugsy says, it's easy to dog on Star Wars shows that you don't like. I think every Star Wars show has good and bad. EU Legends is fine and can stay EU content. Yes, exactly. You know, it's not like they've deleted it. You know, like it's there. Like I'm literally tracking down New Jedi Order right now. Because to me, like, New Jedi Order content is sacred to me. Because there's a lot of stuff that I've read, like Old Republic, and I've done a lot of, like, pre-movie stuff, and that's probably where I'm the strongest with, like, actual original trilogy and Revenge of the Sith, you know, the Bane-Knights, of course, Bane-Knight Legacy, and the Old Republic, and Golden Age of the Sith with the Tales of the Jedi comics. That's definitely my strength, by far. And a lot of the new canon. But the New Jedi Order is sacred to me, because I want to experience that without, like, the influence of content creators online, because they water down shit. You know, like the first page of Heir to the Empire, the first chapter of Heir to the Empire is one of the best Star Wars anything I've read. The second chapter is also really good, because you have Luke Skywalker talking to old Ben Kenobi, and even though they're on Coruscant, they still feel the presence of the Emperor and the dark side, that it's like infected. And then Luke Skywalker's talking about how he is, and I'll say the words, the last Jedi. And then Kenobi is like, no, you know, you're not the last of the old, you're the first of the new. Bro, why has that not been in a movie yet? If Luke Skywalker said that to Rey, I would have broke myself. You know? I got this goddamn ice cream truck out there walking around right now. You know? The last Jedi mentioned. Thank you. By the way, guys, please follow Connor, man. Connor's the legend. I'm doing a podcast with him. He's so cool. He's invited me. He deals with my shit. So, yeah, really cool. So definitely please check him out on TikTok and YouTube as well. But yeah, I hope I'm understanding. If you guys say I'm fucking wrong, let me know, bro. Call me out. Logan says Dave Filoni is my op. But I don't lay a blanket on a hill on his work. It says it's all bad. I just don't like his decisions. I have a very big issue with the way Thrawn is. In fact, that's probably my biggest issue with Dave Filoni. It's just Thrawn. And it's not like his Thrawn, mind you. His Thrawn is not bad. I think his Thrawn is great. I love Star Wars Rebels. I love Ahsoka. Ahsoka is my favorite, not best, my favorite show. Okay? But when I'm reading Heir to the Empire, and I'm reading Treason and Alliance, and the Grisk are there, and then the Chiss Ascendancy, and I'm just like, what is going on? What is the communication area? Is like Thrawn is evil as shit in live action and animation. He is like, bro is evil. But when you read Timothy Zahn's books, because this is Timothy Zahn's character, you can see the level of depth. And I love expanded universe Thrawn way more than live action because I like Thrawn. And I love to see this potentially good guy, not really good guy. He's like chaotic good, I guess, you know, or anti-hero. Yeah, anti-hero is probably better because he's doing all the bad shit to save and protect his ascendancy, you know? But we're never going to get that, guys. Like, it's never going to happen. And I don't know if you saw, but Timothy Zahn came out in this interview and was talking very loudly about how Dave wants absolutely no influence whatsoever on Thrawn. So, that's getting flushed down the toilet, guys. It's never going to happen. But I like Filoni. Obviously, everybody's got problems, you know. But, yes, I think Logan's way to deal with that is the best way any expanded universe can handle. Because I have seen so many people attack Dave Filoni, bro, and it is insane. It is positive side, negative side, and if you want someone to never make Star Wars again, that is a very good way of handling that. And to a lot of people, that may sound like a good idea, but you're bitching and complaining George doesn't have it anymore. And what happens when one of the final people that was a part of George's ascendancy leaves? Who do you have left? Skywalker Academy says, I hate the people weaponize Andor to get their point across. Yeah, it's so frustrating. I follow the Andor Reddit, and every single time I just like... I think about muting it because it's toxic positivity. And a lot of people talk about how positivity, just like, everything's so great, everything... No, like, my toxic positivity is like, this is so good, I can never eat this piece of cake ever again because everything else is poop. You know, and I'm just like, man, that is, like, a terrible way to look at it, bro. Like, okay, I guess, you know. But yeah, man. You know. Yeah, I totally understand, Logan. I really do. Seriously. I understand, trust me. I hope it doesn't get canceled like a lot of the other projects that got announced. They do that way too much. Yeah, SC-38 Reimagined is better than the entirety of the Obi-Wan. Logan says, I feel like an issue right now is the writers don't know the wider lore and only use what's in the movies in their own sphere of creations. I don't think you're ever getting rid of that problem. You know? Star Wars is a buffet. Jedi Connor said this in one of his videos and also in our podcast, Starlight Podcast. So please go and check that out, by the way, guys. And I don't think I've ever heard a more true statement. If you guys have ever been to a buffet, there's desserts, there's main courses, there's side dishes, there is anything and everything there. And that's true. It's very true. Especially if you're an expanded universe fan that loves comics and books and video games. You know how much? Like, I would go to the buffet and I would consistently eat fried rice and orange chicken or barbecue. And to me, fried rice and orange chicken and barbecue and maybe some prime rib is the Old Republic. To me. Okay? You know, maybe prime rib is like Darth Vader stuff. Yeah, I got the Revenge of the Sith novelization right here, baby. Yeah, you know. So I'm gonna consistently eat that. But Lord Dagovere, you just had vanilla ice cream with sprinkles and M&Ms. Yeah, baby. And I'm gonna do it again. You know? So, and if that's like my Star Wars that I like, then that's what I like. You have no idea what I'm eating. You do, though. You have an idea of what I eat because I eat it every day, you know? So that's fine. And I swear to God, guys, and I'm telling you right here, and I'm gonna start putting this shit on freaking TikTok because I'm tired of not being noticed in the right way. I'm telling you, these people that are going out and that are so positive about Andor that they're attacking every other project are just as toxic as those toxic YouTubers, as those grifters. I think they do just as much damage. And I'm not talking about the racists and the harassers. I'm talking about people that just have their own agenda and that keep talking shit about every other Star Wars project that isn't Andor. Be better. you know? We want Battlefield 3. Battlefront. No, I mean, we want Battlefield 3, I guess, yeah. But Battlefront. Battlefront. Who's playing Battlefront? Yo, press 1 in the chat if you're playing Battlefront right now. It is not crossplay. And ever since that damn game was released and it did not have crossplay, I was so sad. And now I'm sitting there, like, at night, late at night, as I'm sick. And I'm just like, oh my god, this game... Oh, I just want to play with my PC friends and PlayStation friends if I had any friends. And I'm sitting there and I'm freaking with the Death Troopers. And I'm sitting there with the Republic Commandos and I think about Grand Admiral Gunnar Bugsy with me because he's a big Clone Wars boy. He loves the Republic. He loves... For our brothers in the chat, baby. I've been playing Fortnite with my boys every once in a while. I love you, Bugsy. I only treat you like that because I love you, but, you know. James, thank you for coming in the chat, bro. I appreciate you, man. You know. Star Wars is a buffet. Leon says, most anticipated Star Wars project is Filoni's Heir to the Empire movie, but it looks like that's not happening for a long time. That's fine. That's fine. Please, let it cook, baby. Please. You know, maybe this is all a ploy for Timothy Zahn to freaking write the entire script, which is something Star Wars needs to do. I'm tired of it. Okay? You got Kevin Scott. You got Charles Soule, okay? You got Claudia Davis. You got people like Timothy Zahn. I can go on, okay? Matthew Stover, James Lucino. Hire them to write scripts for Star Wars TV shows, or at the very least animation, so that they can start getting the experience to make a live-action movie. Do it. Stop it. Stop holding yourself back. Look what we have around us. The expanded universe is everywhere, and we're choosing not to use it. Why? I'm sick, so that's why I have more emotion today. So I'm just saying, man, like, there are so many incredible things, even in the new canon, guys, even in the new canon, like, there's so much good shit in the new canon. And this has nothing to do about EU or Legends continuity versus movies, bro. It's just about the continuity of Star Wars. Even stuff that they got, like the Wayseeker and the High Republic. Like, bro, why is that not something that we've even talked about in the sequel trilogy? Oh, man, it's sitting there. The gold mine is sitting there, and they just choose not to use the people that work on Star Wars every day. I guarantee you, if these people started working with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and everyone else that they got, bro, we would have something very good. You know, it's something like this, like Leslie Headland, right? Bro, Leslie Headland had the perfect vision for a Star Wars show. Let's write a story about two Sith. Let's talk about Darth Plagueis. Let's talk about the Rule of Two. Let's talk about Acolytes. Let's talk about the Old Republic. All right, great. We have a director of Star Wars that literally played Knights of the Old Republic. What the flip? Okay, yeah, maybe not the greatest writer, maybe not the greatest director, maybe not the greatest casting, but what if we partner up this person with Rian Johnson? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying. And I don't like The Last Jedi. But Rian Johnson can direct. And he can write. I'm just saying. The tools are there, man. I love The Mandalorian because it created this 101 Star Wars, right? This how-to Star Wars. And then you look at everybody that's made those first two seasons of The Mandalorian. You know, Deborah Chow, I know, went on to do Kenobi, and, you know, that's what it was. But then you have Rick, who's amazing. You have Bryce Deborah Howard. You have Jon Favreau. You have Dave Filoni. You know, like, bro, there are episodes of those shows that are directed, and they are very well created. Mandalorian, I felt like was a good template, right? Not to continuously like use and copy, but like, dude, there was something there where we started educating these directors and made them Star Wars directors. Why do we continuously let people go? I did not like The Last Jedi, but bro, like, Rian Johnson is making all this Knives Out shit. And just imagine if we partnered him up with somebody else. And I know egos, and I know everybody else wants their own control, but like, can we do a Star Wars TV show with them first? Or an animation show? So they can just like get warmed up and figure this out, and then come back, go balls to walls with everything they're doing, as I sing James DC play Star Wars Battlefront 2 on his PC via Discord. I don't know, man. I'm just a goddamn nerd in my freaking chair that loves Star Wars. That's all I'm saying, bro. I don't know. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Have I made one bad take, bro? I know I you know, sometimes I talk a lot of ish and I have bad ideas, but I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of cooking today. Who knows? Ben Solo, Wayseeker, and he should have never died, bro. God, bro, I don't know why you do that. I don't know why you kill him off, bro. There's no reason. There's no reason. There's no payoff. Why oh my God. Ugh. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you. Make sure you follow the stream. Make sure you follow TikTok. Make sure you follow Threads. Make sure you check the shorts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're doing good right now. We're at 9,000 subscribers. We are on our way to 10, baby. We're getting there. Dagovere is going to definitely crash out, yeah. I hold a lot back, but it's because I just want to be better. I don't want to be like everybody else, you know? I think that the most powerful thing about this fandom is that we can all come together, despite us not liking all the same shit, and make something beautiful. And I feel like if we influence that as a fandom, something in the area of where these people are creating all these stories for us might do the same. You know? Because at the end of the day, it just seems like everybody's being attacked. And when you're being attacked, what are you going to do? Defend the stuff that you love. And it's very hard to open your heart and open your mind when everybody is just talking shit about you. You know? George Lucas did it. You know, that's why George Lucas... All those interviews you see about George Lucas, that's all he talks about. It wasn't fun anymore. They never liked it. They never liked it. I don't care. They never liked it. No, it's really bad. You know? Shout out to Connor. Shout out to Knives Out 3 releasing soon. I know, bro. Crazy, dude. He should been the main character of episode 10. I don't think so. I think that Rey and Finn... I think that Rey, Finn, Poe, and Ben all should have been main characters. Because that's the one thing I will say, and I don't think anybody will say this, is that those characters never truly got to grow in that trilogy. There isn't a single character that actually grew. The only one that grew was maybe Kylo Ren, and he died. Rey didn't even have a story. Everyone talks about how Finn got, you know, how he got completely like sidelined. Yeah, that's true and that's obvious. But like Rey also didn't have a story, bro. That entire trilogy was getting rid of the old characters. And now it is time to give these characters brand new story, real story. I would be reading New Jedi Order and Jedi Academy trilogy and all of these things so much to see what was right and what was wrong. And I know a lot of people hate this, bro, but like, you should be bringing things in like Lost Tribe of the Sith. You should be bringing things in like the Sith species, Exar Kun, and even, I know you're not gonna like this, even something like Abeloth and Waru. Star Wars needs to expand, and I'm not talking about making these characters powerful, but for every level, there needs to be another devil, because you cannot have great heroes without great villains, and there was not a single great villain in the sequel trilogy. It's time, bro. Dig deep. Plant the seeds of story and make these characters something everybody is going to be interested in. Because there is one thing I understand from being an athlete and being a content creator and getting harassed by thousands of people that, you know, watched on Nerderotic's channel when I wound up on his channel for reacting to Luke Skywalker showing up in Mandalorian Season 2, is that these people are going to hate you. And then they're going to love you when you do something good. And then they're going to hate you. And then they're going to love you again. because that is what sheep do. They always follow. So just right. Just fucking right, bro. Right. Aki, so good to see you, fam. It would be wonderful if a similar project were launched for visual media, much like how writers gather to conceive a grand story when the higher... Yes, I do not know why all of that isn't released like that. Like, the High Republic launch was probably one of the best launch of Disney-era Star Wars, I feel like. They had art, they had it codenamed, they leaked it on purpose, probably, to see everything that was going on. Why isn't, like, every trilogy, every new movie done like that? Concept art is so amazing because it helps people imagine. And people's imagination is the most powerful thing in the world because they believe anything. You got stupid-ass people believing the Earth is flat, you know? So, send out concept art, just like they did with Kenobi, where Kenobi and Anakin, and Vader were fighting. Like, that one piece of concept art was so cool. I thought they were fighting in a ship, but they weren't. But it was still sick. You know, the Drengnir and the Nameless, that was cool, bro. That is cool as hell. Let's just call New Jedi Order for what it is, Episode X. Yeah. I think that I don't have a problem if it's called New Jedi Order. Like, I don't have a problem. Go ahead. You have the license. Use it. Use it. Name drop. Do whatever you gotta do. Please just make sure it's sound. Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens was a fantastic villain. I don't think he was a villain. I don't think he was a villain in any of the movies. I saw him as an anti-hero. I saw him as a confused child. That's why he gets his ass whooped by Rey. Well, I mean, on top of that, he's sad. He just killed his father. He took a freaking bowcaster shot in the chest that was literally making people explode through the whole movie. And then he fights Finn and gets stabbed in the shoulder. Why did Rey lose to Kylo Ren? That's why. Were we watching the same fucking movie? Gee, and I don't even like the sequel trilogy, guys. You know, Skywalker Academy says, I think Rey and Finn should have been the same character. Give Rey Finn's backstory. Call her RA-2187 and have her arc overcoming PTSD as Stormtrooper and finding her identity. I don't think there was a problem with the story that we got with Rey. I just think that the sequel trilogy was so congested, you know, like it was just congested. You know, even like as much as I love The Force Awakens, like why is Luke Skywalker not in that movie? You know, that's like a big thing for me. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't want to talk about it like that, you know. Leon says, even though he had good moments in The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, I don't really pay attention to those movies. The Force Awakens, Battlefront 2, and the comics are what I mainly pay attention to for Kylo Ren lore. I mean, I understand. I think the Rise of Kylo Ren comic is incredible. I think it's very good. I think The Last Jedi is Kylo Ren's best movie. By far. I think the best duel in the sequel trilogy is in The Rise of Skywalker when Kylo Ren is fighting Rey on the Death Star. And it is so obvious that Kylo is so much more powerful than Rey. People are sleeping on that whole entire duel, bro. Like, straight up. Like, people are just overlooking that duel. And I don't think that they will ever realize how solid of a duel that is. You know, I'm not saying it's going to be like Mustafar, right? Revenge of the Sith. But I think in the next, like, 7 years, that duel is going to be talked about a lot. You know? Jedi. we need a Last Jedi, we need a Last Jedi counter, honestly. Kylo killed Han. At that point, he definitely needed his ass kicked. Yeah, that was very hard to deal with. There was a guy next to me when I was watching that movie, and he cried so loud and screamed, "Are you kidding me? No!" And I'm not gonna lie, dude, I felt really bad. I felt really bad, you know. No, I don't. I mean, obviously he killed. No, I knew that was gonna happen because Han was there the whole time, and Harrison was very open about hating Star Wars. So I was like, man, this guy, he's done. They're gonna kill his ass. I thought it was very obvious. What I did not like was how Kylo Ren took off his helmet and revealed his face. I thought that weakened his demeanor a lot. But then I started to realize that this dude is he's just a boy. Snoke says it best in The Last Jedi, is that, you're just a child in a mask. And bro, like, Snoke cooked. He cooked. He was 100% right. Like, he cooked, bro. Reza! It's so good to see you. Everybody welcome Reza, and David Torres back. Ready up. Leon says, when people said Han was going to die, I didn't believe it. I saw it, and I was still shocked. I was like, oh my god, they did it. Like, Leia's here. Luke is, I don't know, chasing porgs. That right there is why I don't consider Kylo Ren a villain. Yeah, exactly. Like, and I think The Last Jedi, as much as I really, again mentioned, as much as I really feel like that movie just changed Star Wars forever. That movie puts even more emphasis that Kylo Ren is not a villain. He's a bad guy, terrible person, but he is not like the villain of the story. There is no villain in the sequel trilogy, I guess, outside of the Emperor now, but I don't know, man. I just I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to be one of those channels, He's a Vader fanboy, both Rey and Snoke. Yeah, bro, like, he is a confused child. And the Rise of Kylo Ren really does a great job of extending, like, how stupid his childhood was and how confused he was, Where is my Knights of Ren show? Where is my Knights of Ren animated show? Tales of Ren. Give it to me. Give it to me, Filoni. Give it to me. Where is my Knights of Ren TV show, Filoni? We have the characters. I got the Funko Pops. I got all of them. They're all back there. Where is my Tales of Ren animated TV show? I need to know. I want to see more. I don't want to see him in comic books anymore. I want to see him in animation. Even live action. Give me something, man. All these characters are cool. They all manipulate the Force in some way. You don't even have to put Ren in it. I would just love to see the Knights of Ren when Kylo Ren is doing random stuff, because we have no idea where they are in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. So, yeah. I'll never stop. See, that's how I am. I never stop asking for it until it happens. Hey, bro, you gotta eat someday, Leon says, it doesn't bother me as much because Harrison Ford is an asshole sometimes, but he's still a beloved character. It's just him. It's just his character. I really did not like it when I was younger, but I really started to understand when I saw how many Star Wars fans, like, asked him, like, are you a Force ghost in The Rise of Skywalker? Like, when this guy clearly does not care, and I started to, it made me very self-aware of how annoying I can be, and so that's why I stopped taking it personally. Yeah, man. Skywalker Academy says, I remember seeing The Force Awakens when Han called Ben's name and someone said, Harrison Ford, what are you doing? That was a great scene, man. Also, one thing I noticed too is, like, how do you guys feel about Kylo Ren being called Ben? Like, Leia and Han naming him Ben? Someone brought up a really good point that his name should have been Bail. And that is really cool. I really like that. Jason and Jaina is interesting because of New Jedi Order, and that entire story. But Bail Solo. Interesting. I like Bail in general. But Bail is a cool guy. And he was her guardian, Give us a Bane trilogy, please. Cavan Scott needs to create a Bane trilogy, or just get our boy. Or just get our boy Drew. Sorry, guys. Who was the? It was Drew, right? Drew. Yeah. Or get him. Get him back. I don't understand. Why are we not doing this? Guys, just hire me. Just hire me, man. Just hire, like, bro, I will literally work for like $1 a day. Like, and I will just come into the studio and just throw ideas for 10 minutes and then leave. And you can say yes and no, but something's going to stick. Something's going to cook, bro. You know? Bugsy says the only name for Kylo that I have is Fraud. Bro. Nah, man, nah. No, Kylo is literally like one of... No, he's like one of the greatest new additions to new canon. I can't say that. Like, I love Kylo, man. I love Kylo. Kylo is one of my favorites. No, even with all the flaws, even with all the issues, like, I love Kylo. That's a good thing that came from the Obi-Wan show. Yes, absolutely. Logan says, Leia had no interaction with Ben Kenobi until Kenobi show was made. Pretty much no reason for him to be important to her other than secondhand. Yeah, and so, like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, maybe, here's my thinking. Maybe after Luke had talked about Ben so much that maybe Leia thought, wow, that sounds like a good guy. But then Ben also, like, lied to Luke about Darth Vader being his father. And in the new canon, like, bro, Luke is so upset that he literally, like, loses his connection to the Force and doesn't talk to Yoda for, like, an entire year. So, you know, does that still make sense that they name him Ben? I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Someone cancel me out. Someone challenge me on this. I don't want to be right. I want to learn. Leon says they kept their word on making the sequel trilogy feel more fleshed out, at least. Bugsy says, well, the message about Ben Kenobi came in the beginning of episode 4, so he held some importance. Yes. Yeah, help me Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know. And that is a really important scene, you know, in Star Wars, you know. Help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. Logan says in Legends, she named her son Anakin, yes, after her father, because she had spent so much time learning to forgive him and feel sorry for him, which is also crazy, because I'll never forget the interaction of her seeing Anakin in the room, his Force ghost, and she wants nothing to do with him, you know, which is also crazy. That is really sad, but deserved. David Torres says, if Mace, Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin would have went to arrest the Lord Sidious, would things have played out? I have a video being upload tomorrow, so check that out. And I'm telling you right now, in the novelization, and I think the novelization does a very good job because Matthew Stover uses notes that George Lucas gave to him. And so this is why, like, I think it's like the most important novelization for all the movies. Because of that connection between the writer and George Lucas. So that's why I hold that book to such high regard. And in that book, Palpatine puts the Jedi Council into a position where they need to react, right? But let's say, if they have time, right? The people that Mace Windu brings, Sai-C-10, Agent Kalor, and Kit Fisto, they don't even want to fight, bro. They are so worried. Kit Fisto is like, we should probably wait for Master Yoda. I don't want to get clapped. Agent Kalor, I think, is like asking, or Agent Kalor, or, yeah, I think it's, or Saisi 10. I can't. One of them. It's Agent Kalor or Saisi 10. I think it's Agent Kalor, and he's like, what about the Chosen One? Are we gonna bring him? And Mace is like, no. Anakin did a great job at letting us know who the Sith Lord is, and so just like him, we need to do our deed, our side of the bargain, you know. And by the way, Anakin should not be there. Anakin should not be there. There's a lot of people that are saying like Anakin Skywalker should have been there with Mace Windu to fight Palpatine. But I guarantee you Palpatine would have made this shit so much worse for Anakin, bro. He would have fought everybody. And he would have united with Palpatine. But I guarantee you, if Yoda is there, even Kenobi, bro. If Yoda is there with Mace, Palpatine is getting slaughtered, bro. Palpatine is getting bodied. The real problem is Kit Fisto and Agent Kalor and Saisi 10 are the biggest frauds in the Jedi Council. I said it. I don't care who. I said, bro. Agent Kalor, Kit Fisto. I don't give a shit how cool his underwater lightsaber is, dual phasing lightsaber, whatever you want to say. Saisi 10, they are the biggest frauds in the Jedi Order, bro. I cannot believe how big they fumbled. This was supposed to be like the biggest clique out of like Yoda, Anakin Skywalker, who by the way is like the hero of the Republic and is considered like the war hero of the Clone Wars, and Kenobi. These guys are the dudes, and they fumbled, man. It's like the Miami Dolphins putting up 70 points on the Denver Broncos and then losing every game after that. That's how big of a fumble it was. They are the biggest jobbers and the biggest frauds in the Jedi Order. I swear to God. I am so animated today. I am so sorry, guys. This is how I am. I don't know if it's because I'm sick and I haven't streamed in like 2 weeks and I'm just not putting my filter on. So you're almost getting unfiltered Lord Dagovere here. So yeah. Dude, I just can't deal with it. Every time I see that fight, bro, I'm just like, Mace, you literally, you could have done so much better, my guy. Like, we literally could have waited a day for Yoda to show up, and Sidious is getting clapped. You know? Shoot. Wait 2 days, bro. Like, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda literally go inside the temple when all hell is breaking loose. We couldn't have waited 2 days for our boys to get out of hyperspace. We couldn't have. What they should have done is they should have brought Mace Windu, Saisi 10, Agent Kalor, Kit Fisto, and ahch-to, and they should have brought Anakin to Padme and said, we are staying here and we're waiting for Yoda and Kenobi, and then all of this shit is getting sorted out. And then we're walking up to the Senate and we're beating Sidious's ass. That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done. Master, I married Padme. I don't give a fuck. Just kill Sidious with us, and you can have whatever you want. I don't care. But personally, I believe Anakin's too far gone at that point. Unless he's literally having Kenobi and Padme and the entire Jedi Council, like, intervention mode. You know, like, oh, Anakin Skywalker intervention. Oh, you got me, guys. You know, and everybody is just talking to him. there's I don't know. Revenge of the Sith just goes the same way every time, no matter how much I watch it. You know, Mace didn't think it through. I bet he thought Palpatine wasn't as strong as he was. No, I know. So, okay, all right, guys. God damn it, man. I wanted to. All right, can we just do this for like 30 more minutes? Are you guys okay with like 30 more minutes of streaming? Are you guys okay with that? Is that okay? Is that okay? Like, give me 1 second to type in the chat. I need to go get another water bottle. I'll be right back. Okay, all right, bet. Bet, baby. All right, so here we go. All right. So first, I need to show you guys some shit that went down in my comment section, and I thought it was crazy. This is all connected to what we're talking about today, so don't you go anywhere. We are here right now, and you are getting the knowledge. All right? So just chill out. So, Mace Windu, Sicey 10, Agent Kalor, all the freaking... Well, Mace Windu is one of the greatest duelists in the Jedi Order. One of the greatest Jedi duelists that the Jedi Order ever produced. Do you understand what that means? That they ever produced. This guy uses Vapad, and he is the only person that can use it. Why, Lord Dagovere? Because when other people use this, they turn to the dark side. That's how much of a badass Mace Windu is. He's not able to use the dark side. That's not how Vapad works, okay? He's giving himself to the fight. Because the technique allows him to disconnect his emotion to the point where it takes him to the penumbra of the dark side. What does the penumbra mean, everybody? It means to the border, to the door. He's walking up to the dark side and he's stopping. He's not opening it. He's not passing through. So he's getting to the very edge of the light side and stopping. And so when he fought Palpatine met his match. Palpatine lost that fight. And so, if you hear anybody else talk shit about Mace Windu and how he's not that great, no, Mace Windu is bodying everybody in the Jedi Order outside of Yoda. And maybe Anakin, because Matthew Stover said that George Lucas thought Anakin was like the greatest duelist ever. I don't know about that. That's just my personal opinion, okay? But that's how it is. As my cats are opening the door. Get out of here. So my cats open doors, so. All right. So, as you guys know, I do these posts. All right. And there was one thing that I need to show you guys. Because this guy was absolutely insane when he said this shit. All right. So I made this. I do these polls. And I don't know if you guys see them. But it says, should Mace Windu have brought Anakin Skywalker to arrest Darth Sidious? And I said, Mace Windu bringing the most mentally ill and confused Jedi of the Jedi Order seems like a terrible idea. Anakin was too far manipulated at this point to have effect most people think he would. And this reply, do you guys see this reply? I want you guys to read this reply. Okay? More mentally ill than Mace Windu. Mace Windu was more mentally ill than Mace Windu. What are they talking about? In what way did Mace Windu distinguish that he was mentally ill? I will say that in the novelization, you have a very good understanding that Mace Windu's love is the Republic, is the Jedi Order. There are a lot of things that Mace Windu will do for the Republic and the Jedi Order. But one thing all these Mace Windu freaking haters completely overlook is that Mace Windu, when he saw Anakin Skywalker come back to tell him that Palpatine was Darth Sidious, he saw how vulnerable Anakin was, and he was terrified because he literally thought Anakin was a bomb that could destroy everything in existence. And that's like verbatim from that chapter. Mace Windu sees shatter points. He sees the weak points in everything. Mace Windu looked at Anakin Skywalker when he got that revelation and realized like Anakin Skywalker was the ticking time bomb for everything. This was why he was the chosen one. And there are so many people that say that Mace Windu thought he was the chosen one. Like Mace Windu himself thought he was the chosen one. Bro, like I've never seen such a misunderstanding of a character in my life. You know? Mace Windu cared and didn't trust Anakin because of how emotionally corrupt Anakin was, you know? But to say that he hated Anakin, to say that he didn't care, you know, I think people, their love for Anakin Skywalker makes them put the blame on Mace Windu a little too much, you know? Yeah. So, what are we talking about here? Yeah, Mace Windu not allowing Anakin to come with them was kind of the final nail in the coffin, though. If you just saw somebody get shot, do you think it's a good idea to go back out to where that place is that you saw that person get shot? You know? I think that people completely don't understand how powerful Anakin Skywalker's emotions is. And the entire time, like the entire movie, this guy is getting visions of his wife dying, just like his mom. Palpatine is doing that to him. Anakin Skywalker in that moment can't believe anything, not even the air that he's breathing. And you want to bring this guy, that's a ticking time bomb, to the most important fight in the entire existence of the galaxy? Come on now, guys. I don't think that's the correct answer. Yes, maybe in a different time, at the beginning of the movie, even the whole, scene with Anakin Skywalker being told, to take a seat when, he wants the rank of master. There's a lot of different opportunities, and that probably should have been handled throughout that entire trilogy. But at that moment, I think Mace Windu handled it the best that he could have with how mentally unstable Anakin was. What they didn't foresee, yes, I would say, was how powerful Darth Sidious was and how deep his deception was in Anakin, Anakin was sick of the Jedi not trusting him, though. That was like half the reason he turned. I don't think so, because what I think people are not understanding is that Anakin was a good guy. Not like, oh my god, he's a hero, he's the greatest Jedi of all time. No, that's wrong. No, Anakin genuinely was a good person. Padme believed that Anakin was a good person. So, am I supposed to say no? Yes, Anakin did some stupid shit. He killed younglings. Well, sorry, we're not talking about that. He killed the Tatooine Tusken Raiders. He killed a lot of people in the Clone Wars. But even after everything, even like Ahsoka leaving, even with all the mistrust and everything that's going on, Anakin is still teaching Ahsoka all of his best traits, and Anakin is still being the hero of the Republic. Just that movie, when you watch that movie, yeah, it seems way more like, okay, the Jedi are completely effing Anakin. But with the continuity, with the Clone Wars, which is really important because George Lucas was there making all these things to enhance the movies, Anakin still had hope. But that moment where Kenobi leaves him and Anakin is left to just linger and have all those terrible visions, it's already kind of over. It has nothing to do with a Jedi at that point. It's more about Anakin Skywalker's pain and him not being able to handle it. That's where I think a lot of people they're blaming it on Mace, they're blaming it on the Jedi, but they really should be blaming it on Palpatine's manipulation. That is my honest opinion on that. There's a difference from not trusting Anakin versus outright hate. Heck, he respected yeah, dude. Bro, in the novel, they are literally asking, why is Anakin not here fighting with us? That says everything you need to know. That says everything you need to know. And it's not no, Mace Windu hated him. No, bro. Mace Windu literally thought Anakin did the best job. Wow, I trusted you. Oh my god. You did everything and more. And then... oh my god. Every time I think about that... Every time I think about Anakin... going to that goddamn Senate chamber in Palpatine's room, it gets me so mad. I get so frustrated, dude. Oh, Anakin, you were so close, bro. You were so close. You were so close. Trust is a two-way streak. Anakin didn't trust the Jedi, and the Jedi didn't have a reason to trust him because of how unstable he can be. Yeah. You know, I think a really good scene is Mace Windu, Kenobi, and Yoda all talking about Anakin, and like, bro, like he's the problem child. They don't know what to do, and it's kind of one of those things where like you've raised this child, and now you see like, dang, bro, we effed up, man. This kid has problems, but like he's our son. We can't abandon him, you know? And what a lot of people don't understand too is like when you watch those scenes, and it's just Revenge of the Sith, it's completely different when you watch it with the Clone Wars. Because with the Clone Wars, bro, you see all this heroic stuff that Anakin does. And I'm not just talking about the Mortis saga where it's literally like proving that he's the chosen one. But I'm talking about like Ahsoka leaving the Jedi. Ahsoka leaving the Jedi is probably one of the most important character arcs that Anakin has. And that guy doesn't turn to the dark side then. Like, he's sad, but he also like lets Ahsoka go. Like, he does what he should have done with Padme with Ahsoka. It's right there. That moment right there is where, in my opinion, Anakin deserved the rank of master. But nobody was there. Not Kenobi, nothing. It's just Anakin and Ahsoka. Love, attachment, everything that he has in flaws in that scene is exactly what he can't do in the movies. He won. He, in my opinion, earned the rank of master in that moment. Just from that scene. We're not talking about how emotionally unwell he was, but from that scene, that's exactly what he needed to do with Padme. You know, like it's stuff like that where Revenge of the Sith might be the greatest Star Wars movie of the prequel trilogy because of the Clone Wars and what it does for Anakin Skywalker. What it does for Star Wars going forward, because you just have so much of this now in episodes 1, 2, 3 in Clone Wars, and then you watch episode 4 and 5 and 6, and it's just like, oh my god, my boy Anakin, and then he shows up at the end of that in Return of the Jedi, and you see Hayden Christensen, you know? I never caught that. Yeah, I'm probably putting that on TikTok. Oh, so another thing too, guys, is I'm going to start like making like weird-ass fake accounts and putting my reactions and the stuff that I talk about on TikTok, because I'm just trying to see, like, if I can just put all this stuff everywhere and people see my face. They might get annoyed and make fun of me, but at least I'll get more exposure to somebody. Does that make sense? It's like making all these highlights and pretending like people are actually everywhere posting me, but it's not. It's just me. So I see it happen all the time with a lot of other creators, and I was gonna do it for myself. We all know what Anakin does. Yeah, and I could talk about it all day because I love Anakin. You know, I love that stuff. It's really important. And I think that's where Star Wars is at its best, is when fans are coming together and talking about the decision-making. And that decision-making of Mace Windu, you know, not bringing Yoda or, you know, letting Anakin stay behind, you know, it's sad. It's really sad. Everything is happening so fast. And Palpatine wins. Palpatine wins. Because the Jedi can't stop for a second just to say, like, you know, maybe we should do this differently. You know, this guy's been manipulating the whole time. Maybe it's time to no longer be a Jedi anymore. You know? You know, Anakin, I know this isn't the way that we do things, but, like, since you told me this, I'm going to make sure that you're going to be a master. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow. But I guarantee you, when Yoda and Kenobi come back, I will personally inquire that the Council make you a Jedi Master. But I need you to stay here and let me come back and kill this motherfucker. Damn, shoulda, woulda, coulda, bro. All the time. Leon says, look at the lighting in the scene where Mace told him to stay. You can literally see Anakin on the edge of darkness. George did that on purpose. Well, I think what a lot of people don't know is, like, Palpatine is literally, like, you know, whispering to him. You know, it took me a while. As a kid, I never caught that. You know, when you first watched it in theaters. I think it was when I had it on DVD and I was watching it, like, every night when it came out on DVD. Where I thought I heard Palpatine's voice. You know, like... And him saying, like, you know, if they kill me, she will die, you know. And I'm just like, what the flip? Palpatine has been talking to this guy? Oh, Palpatine's been making the visions the entire time? Did he make the visions about his mother too? Was he the person that killed Shmi? You know, it's like, it's all that stuff. That's where I feel like, wow, man, that just, like, Anakin Skywalker is... There are two characters when I think of, like, who have the most suffering in all of entertainment history. And I would probably put Guts from Berserk, and then Gollum from Lord of the Rings, and then Anakin Skywalker. Like, that is the trio of suffering. I don't know if there are more tragic characters in entertainment. Is Anakin Skywalker, Gollum, or Schmeagol, and and Guts from Berserk. You know. Oh, I'm sick and it's making my chest hurt. That's how sad I get. That's how goddamn sad I get, dude. All right, so we talked about some good stuff. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. I have about like 5 more minutes of energy left. But I wanted to show Skywalker Academy some stuff that I used to do back in the day. And you might be interested because you make edits. And I want to show you some edits that I did a long time ago. And it was actually the original stuff that made me start Star Wars content. Believe it or not. It was really cool stuff. I really enjoyed it. I had a very big passion for it. So I'm going to show it to you and let me know what you think. I'm going to try to put some stuff up. Let me know if it's too loud or too whatever. But this was the first one that I made. One of the first ones.
I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi.
I did. So mind you, this was back in like, this was back in like 2017. Okay, so edits weren't really a thing back then. It was animated music videos, and I was making this back then, and I couldn't figure out like where to put this stuff. And for a time, they were on my YouTube channel, but then I just took everything down. I didn't want to put it up there. I just wanted to do lore videos and reactions, and no one ever liked them. Or I don't want to say no one ever liked them. They just never got exposure. Now when you go on TikTok, you see stuff like this all the time. So, yeah, Reza knows. Reza saw this stuff. So I wanted to play this stuff for you guys and let me know what you think. If it's like anything, I'm just going to let it play. But I'm very interested, Skywalker fam, to see if you liked it. All right, here we go.
I want to learn the ways of the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
Gonna see a couple stuff that I did.
You must learn the ways of the Force if you're to come with me to Alderaan.
It gets a little loud, let me know. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, dude. So I made that a while back, and I was trying to make the animation is called Galaxy of Adventurers, and it was really cool. But then I started to realize like it was only like 2 or 3 minute shorts, and so I was like, damn, I don't have enough like animation to make everything I wanted. So then I got this idea to mix the live action with the animation, and I just had a lot of fun with it, and it was really fun. But I got like really crazy with it, like super into it, that I started making like really good montages and stuff and edits. And there was one that I made for Shin Hati, and I actually don't know where this is. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not actually sure. Man, I really don't know where I might have put that one. But I'm going to have to check. But yeah, I don't know if you guys ever watch stuff like that. I know it's very different. But that was actually one of the main things that got me to... that made me want to do a Star Wars channel. I'm just going to try to find whoever the hell the other one is. Maybe this is TikTok? Drama? Nope. Wait, I think it is in... I think I know where it is. Okay, hang on. I think I know where it is. Yes, I think it's here. Yes. Okay, so no one's actually seen this one. Okay? I thought it was amazing. The sync is really good. That is not easy to do, especially for the fact. Yes, thank you, bro. Yeah, because I know you're really into those things. But I'm gonna show you this one, okay? Because no one has ever seen this one, and I was gonna do like a whole edits account back in the day, and I never did. But it's for Shin, and I wanted to see how he got it. Yeah, dude, I was so into it, dude. I was like, oh shit. Damn, I was not bad, bro. I knew what I was doing. Also, some Kylo. Okay, so all right. So we got the all right. So I do have a Kylo one. Yeah, I do have a Kylo one. All right, but I made these, bro. This was like a really big passion of mine. Like I wanted people to watch this shit, man, and I just didn't know where to upload this stuff, man. Like I had no idea. So I made a Kylo one, and it's one of my favorites. And it's called Come Break Free. And I listen to a lot of underground rap, so if this shit is like really scary, I'm sorry guys. This is just how I am. So good. See, I always had the temple, bro. So the temple's been around, bro. I've always wanted to. Yeah, dude. I loved it, man. I was so good. Jamie Torres says, "Trusty Wine, what you said definitely about Lord Sidious, and I agree with you. Poor Mace gives his boys too much." Yeah, I know, man. I know, bro. I know. All right, so I'll do a couple more. I'll do a couple more, then I'm done. Because I don't want to bore you guys. But so no, I'm not gonna show that one. I'm not gonna show that one. I got so many, bro. Okay, I'll do 2 more. I'll do one of my favorites, and then I'll do a Darth Vader one that I really love. Okay, all right. So, wait, is that the one? Yeah. Okay. All right. So we'll do Dark Side Justice. Okay, give him a prequel as soon as possible. Yes.
Fuck the machine, I'm raging against the broke life. I love the cream, my Satan's afraid the coke price. My demons and devils do the things that I don't like, and I detach myself from them. I know it's
going against me. It's impossible. Dark side justice. Dark side justice. Dark side justice. Dark side justice. Oh! That boy. Let's go. Look at this. Ah! No, oh, that was so good. That was so good, bro. That's like, I was on some shit, bro. I prefer a mall had this animation instead of Clone Wars style. Dude, I know. I love that style, dude. It was so nice. Ooh. Okay. Last one, okay? Last one. I gotta find it. I think this is it. It's a Vader, because you know I love Vader, alright? Yeah, I think this is it. Alright, here we go. This is the last one, and then I won't bother you guys anymore with this.
My rap equivalent to a militant bomb. My syllabus formed. My Pazien's a killer from Nam. We're still in my palm. Gorillas was born. Your village is gone. It's either that you die or give your will to Islam. I feel it's a storm that's builded from the wilderness arm. I sent it along to let you know Godzilla was spawned. I kill for my mom. Ain't nobody as real as my mom. And it ain't any woman ever know that chill like my mom. I build with imams in holy places filled with Quran. My killers is strong. Cause every Sicilian is strong. You still in the form. I'm sharper than a million.
Watch this animation. Watch this transition. Watch this transition, bro. He was good. He was good. I watched it like once in a blue moon, man, because right? Oh my god, dude. Oh. I still got more. I still got more that like no one has seen in a while, but yeah, I just I never knew where to upload it, and it was just one of those things that I had. So yeah, man. But thank you guys for watching. That was really fun. Yeah, man. I may have to. You should do more of those. Yeah, dude. I know. Man, I want to. Like, my idea is, I want to grow this channel first, but I can't grow the channel unless I find a way to give myself more exposure. And so when I'm at like 25K, 50K, you know, and I understand like what I'm doing, because the goal is 100K, obviously, you know. But once I get around there, like that's why I say I'm just gonna start like putting highlights of my stream everywhere and my reactions. Like even Bugsy is gonna help me. Like he's gonna make an account and like help me put like my face everywhere. I'm gonna make one too. So I'm just gonna try to do that. See if it happens. You know, people are gonna come to the stream because they hate my takes or they love my reactions or whatever. Then they're gonna see that I do lore videos. You know. So hopefully we'll see, and then maybe I can do all this other stuff too when I get there, you know. Still going strong. Yeah, bro, you just missed some cool stuff. You may have to rewind like the last like 10 minutes. Those videos are good. Thank you, man. Thank you. Like I put a lot of effort into those, and you know, when you try really hard and then you realize like no one is really interested in it, you know, it makes you feel some type of way. But what I didn't realize is like I was making this stuff back in 2017, and if TikTok was around back then with those edits, it would have been a different story. You know, now I just have them and they're just sitting there. But at least I have people that see them now and make me realize how good it is, you know. I kind of cooked. I'm not going to lie. I kind of cooked, bro. Yeah, man. But thank you so much, guys. Please go out there, get on Threads, follow the TikTok. I'm going to try my best to put this stuff out there, guys, because I really feel like we have something here, you know. So I'm going to keep doing it. I promise, man. You definitely could. Thank you, Reza. Thank you, man. Skyward Cutters, I feel you on that, but man, making those are so fun for sure. Yeah, it's like, it's a passion project, man. Like when you watch it, when you watch it and you're like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I think you did a good job. You did something for yourself. And not a lot of people do that. But hey, guys, you guys help me out so much. I'm really going to continue to put that content out, like I said. So if you ever see a random video on TikTok or Instagram or something that is me with my face and reacting, please share it with your friend. Let them know about your boy, Lord Dagovere, man. Because this channel is not here without you guys, all right? But you know what it is. And now you know about the temple, all right? Coming into the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many of the Force-sensitive like yourself. I'm Lord Dagovere, fam. And I'll see you next week, baby. Make sure you watch the shorts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and join the Starlight Podcast. Let's go, fam. I'll see you around. Deuces.